Blessed love and blessings way up you. Let's talk some boxing. JERMELL Iron Man Charlo stops Brian Costano in the 10th round last night. Just like I suggested in my fight prediction, I said mid to late round stoppage, mid to late fight stoppage. And JERMELL Charlo, he got it done, man. Absolutely one of his best performances up to date to me. Hey, before we get into it, man, y'all smashing that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when all content is being uploaded on the channel. Y'all already know it's that double jab right down the pipe. JERMELL Charlo was using a lot of them last night, a lot of double jabs, a lot of jabs down to the solar plexus, he found a home for the right hook to the body and the straight right to the body against Costano. And it was a great performance. Now, Costano, he performed good. He performed just like I thought he was going to perform. I said, leading up to this fight, there was more room for Mel. Hey, fuck around. There was more room for Mel to make adjustments than there was for Costano. Costano, he's gonna do what he does. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna cut the ring off. Very minimal head movement, but he's gonna cut the ring off. He's gonna feint. He's gonna little bit of posturing, but not, you know what I mean, head movement, but he's posturing, you know what I mean, head offline, but you know, really wasn't enough. Like I said, I felt like there was more room for JERMELL to make adjustments and make improvements in the fight, and Mel actually absolutely did. In the first fight, like I said in all my videos after the first fight, I feel like it's what Mel wasn't necessarily doing compared to what Costano was doing. A lot of people were saying, you know, Castano's backing up Mel. I really didn't see that in the first fight. In the first fight, I saw Mel willingly backing up to the rope to sit there and chill, and then to try to catch Costano in between punches while Costano was punching. Now, Mel, JERMELL Charlo, he did resort to the punching in between punching last night with Costano. That's what he did beautifully last night. But the difference is he did it in the middle of the ring instead of with his back up on the ropes. He also did it where he would force Costano to open up and then let his shots off. Like, he would actually let Costano get closer, because in the first round, Mel was beautiful with the jab, controlling the distance with the jab. He wasn't really trying to let Costano get too close to him. And then second round, Costano, you know, got a little bit closer. Third round, Costano got a little bit closer. Fourth round, Costano got a little bit closer. And like I'm watching Mel right now in the post-fight presser, and just like JERMELL said in the presser, well, he's coming forward, but he's still respecting me. He's just not like going all out. So I'm like, you know what? I don't really gotta do all this. I don't really gotta move, you know, I don't really gotta do too much. I can stay right here and catch him in between punches. So just like I said, I could see JERMELL setting Costano up and setting up a trap for Costano and walking him into something is really what Mel started to do. He started to, I noticed like Costano was closing the gap, and it could have been Mel just slowing down on the back foot. He would let Costano get close to him, and then he would let Costano run off his body punches, because he knows that's what Costano's going to do. Once they're right here, Costano's going to open up to the body, and every time Costano would do that, Mel would just counter upstairs with hard hooks. And Mel, from the beginning of the fight, he did a beautiful job countering Costano. And he wasn't just countering with one punch. He was countering with combinations. He would counter with 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. Also, what Mel spoke about, what he's speaking about in the press. I'm watching final press conference right now. Also, another thing he spoke about is, even though Costano was busy, like, you know, first of all, Costano struggled with distance in this fight. He was punching a little bit too early, punching before he got into range, and that allowed Mel to hit him with good counter punches as well. But yeah, that allowed Mel to open up the counter punches as well, because Castano, he wasn't really, he was having a hard time finding his range. You know what I'm saying? And then when he did find his range, he would shoot to the body, and Mel would just open up with combinations. But one thing that Mel was saying is, though, even Castano was busy, and just like the first fight, to me, even though Castano was busy and he's kind of letting his hands go, sometimes he don't got his distance right. He's out of distance. He's too close in. He's punching, and JERMELL is really blocking, catching a lot of those punches, rolling, just like I said Canelo was doing against Bivol. But Mel actually a better job. Castano not letting his hands go as good as Bivol. As far as combinations, Bivol was throwing a lot of straight punch combinations and mixing a hook or uppercut in there, whereas Castano, he's just really coming with like wide hooks. You know what I'm saying? Really easy to counter for Mel. One thing that Castano was doing very nice, and he landed this shot a few times in the course of the fight, and I felt like it was bothering Mel, but then after a while Mel was like, no, it wasn't really bothering him. He was landing a nice right hand over the top when Mel would shoot. I wouldn't even say Mel would shoot a lazy jab, but sometimes when Mel would shoot his jab lower instead of to the high, when he shoots it lower, if it's not coming out like a rocket, when Castano was moving forward, so when Castano was moving forward and Mel was stepping back, when Mel would shoot that low jab to the body or anywhere to his shoulders, you know what I mean, Derek James telling him hit him anywhere, but when Mel would shoot that jab while he's walking back, it always happened when Castano was walking forward and Mel was walking back. It never happened when Mel was walking forward and Castano was walking back. But when Castano was coming forward and Mel shot that low jab, Castano was just timing it beautifully with the overhand right that was catching Mel. But like I said, Mel had beautiful counters. Even sometimes when Mel got hit with that shot, he was still countering with the left hook. So to me, that's one of the only things that Castano had going for him, was that right hand over the top. But even when it landed, Maul would fire back, 4 or 5 punches inside the combination. So great. I think that this was a great performance by JERMELL. I keep saying Maul, by JERMELL, excuse me. I think this was a great performance by JERMELL CHARLO. To me, was his best performance. You can see him maturing in there. You can see the relationship and the work with Derek James. You can see it coming into full fruition now, because before, when Mel used to be a good boxer, always had great legs, but when he got with Derek James really started showing him how to come on his front foot behind his power, kind of like Tyson Fury and in Sugar Hill. Derek James started teaching him now how to come on his front foot, how to catch punches on the inside, how to catch and counter punches, blocking counter punches. So Mel was really fell in love with his power, was relying on his power a lot when he first got with Derek James. But now you can see the legs coming back, the boxing coming back, along with what Derek James is teaching him as far as the catching and the countering shots. Great defense. The counter punching by Mel was just beautiful last night. Catching shots. I told y'all they love to catch the shot and then counter with the same hand uppercut. Catching shots, just countering Castano like crazy. And Castano, he did as best as he can do. But like I said, the ceiling for Mel to be able to make adjustments and make adjustments, make in-time adjustments, do different things. The ceiling was much higher for what Mel could have done than what Castano could have done. You know what I mean? And that's what I said from the first fight leading into this fight. I thought that Mel was going to be able to break him down and eventually stop him, and he did. Mel was countering him so nice with that left hook. Like I said, he would let Castano let go his body shots, and Mel would just counter with the left hook. And at times, Castano, excuse me, at times Castano seemed like he caught onto it, but this is what I'm saying, like Castano not being able to make adjustments, or the adjustments that he can make is so minimal that even when he did like catch on to it. Like he's like, all right, I know the hook is coming. He still couldn't do nothing about it because he's gonna do the same thing over and over. Get close and try to land his body shots and then try to come upstairs. But as soon as he lets go of those body shots, JERMELL CHARLO was countering with that hard left hook, following it up with something. And he was doubling up the left hook. He was throwing the left uppercut. He was going to the body. He was throwing uppercuts to the body. It was just a very, very, very good performance by JERMELL CHARLO, doubling the jab, sticking the jab to the body, the right hand to the body, the right hook to the body. Just a very, very, very good performance by JERMELL CHARLO, and I called it, and I'm happy for the young man. Finally undisputed. You know what I mean? Charlo's been taking heat from, you know, haters for years, and that's what he's talking about in his presser. He's rashing on the ESPN dude, telling the ESPN dude, you gotta respect me now, man. Whatever y'all got to say about me, man, you got to respect me. But you know, shout out to JERMELL Iron Man CHARLO, man. Really happy for him that he got the job done. He was really respectful after the fight. He said, I'm a fighter, I'm a boxer. But great work by JERMELL CHARLO. And Brian Castano, you know what I mean? He stayed in there as long as he could. I just knew he was getting hit with so many clean punches and hard punches upstairs. Again, another fight where CHARLO had him hurt multiple times. This fight really changed. Like Castano, there was a moment in the 7th round, I think it was the 7th round, where CHARLO hit Castano with a hard left hook, buckled him. He didn't even follow it up. I mean, if CHARLO would have followed up at that moment in time, he would have stopped Castano. But at that moment, that's when Castano kind of like that's when he lost like all faith. He was hurt. He stopped coming forward. You could tell he was just a little like out of it at that point, and he never really got back into the fight after that. JERMELL CHARLO just broke him down round by round. The commentators were saying that I remember they had it tied like going into the 7th round, 3 rounds to 3. I don't know where they got those. Where like I said, another situation where I don't know what they was watching. At the time of the stoppage, I had CHARLO winning the fight easily, 6 rounds to 3, 7 rounds to 2. You know what I'm saying? Beat chop. We was inside the live and we was scoring the fight live. And both of us at the point up to the knockout had only given Castano like 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 rounds. So we got it easy. 6 rounds to 3 for CHARLO going into the 10th round. 6 rounds to 3, something like that. You know what I'm saying? 7 to 2, 6 rounds to 2, 6 rounds to 3. But dominant performance by JERMELL CHARLO. Castano, like he stayed in the fight and he tried, but you know, all the trying that he was doing, you know, really couldn't do nothing. I felt like JERMELL CHARLO dominated the fight, broke him down, ended up stopping him, and now he is unified at 154 pounds. They're asking him about Tim Tszyu, about Fundora, but you know, we'll see what happens with Mel. I do think that he's gonna defend his titles, you know, more than once before vacating or moving up, you know, whatever have you. But he's rashing us, dude. He said, you always hating. He said, you gotta respect me now. He talking to the ESPN dude. He said, you gotta respect me now. Y'all always hating. He said, you gotta respect me now, though. You gotta respect me now. And these are the moments, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, CHARLO's been taking heat for some years, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to see finally undisputed for JERMELL CHARLO, man. We see what Maul got popping, but undisputed for JERMELL CHARLO, man. It's a good look. He's up in the pound for pound rankings now. I seen somebody had him, Showbiz had him ranked, what, number 4, number 5, on the pound for pound list. He got to be on the pound for pound list. All his title defenses he's won by knockout, except for the loss to Tony Harrison. But then he revenged it with the knockout. Look at his title defense record. They're all knockouts. So we gotta start talking about JERMELL CHARLO on the pound for pound list. If y'all talk about pound for pound, blow for blow, then we gotta put JERMELL CHARLO on the pound for pound list, because every single last one of his title defensive defenses so far have ended by stoppage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mel, man. Shout out to Mel. Great performance by Mel. Shout out to Castano for putting up a fight and for not going there and laying down. But, you know, you getting hit with those clean shots, so many of them, it's only a matter of time, man. But you guys tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section below. Y'all already know what it is, man. Until then, keep fighting your fight and protect yourself at all times, man. It's Coach Fire, it's Real Life Boxing. Peace and one love. We coming back on the live, so y'all stay tuned for it. We out.